Hi everybody, today is February 10th, 2013. I thought this had some very good information, and I'll tell you what I think as I go along here. I was wrong. It looks like a very bad piece of fiscal policy is about to go into place. A key policy goal right now is to minimize short-term austerity since the deficit is a percent of the GDP, is already shrinking quickly, and the deficit should continue to shrink over the next few years. So my view has been something would be worked out on the sequester that would minimize immediate spending cuts. It appears I may be wrong. The sequester cuts might happen on March 1st from the LA Times. Automatic budget cuts are almost certain. In less than a month, a budget axe is set to fall on the federal government, indiscriminately chopping funding or the military and slicing money from various programs including preschools and national parks. Now, I read an article yesterday that we pulled one of our warships from the Mediterranean because of these military cuts that are coming. Supposedly that leaves just one warship in the Mediterranean. Now, you know that the war machine, those actually behind the economy and the powers that control everything, are not going to put up with losing income. I speculate they will create a deliberate war because there is big money in war. And when they talk about automatic military cuts, they're not going to put up with it. The $85 million in cuts that would take effect from March 1st through September, the first installment of $1.2 trillion in reduction over the next decade, would strike just about every agency and service in an attempt to ease the budget deficit. The slashing part of an automatic process known as sequestration would affect the economy, government workers, and average Americans in ways big and small. There's been talk of going to automation, machines to do the work of people to save money. And also they got businesses going overseas, taking away jobs here in the U.S. There's also talk of unemployment of 75%. Just type in 75% unemployment, you'll see all the articles. Economists project the budget cut would reduce the nation's total economic output by about 0.6 percentage points this year, a significant hint when growth remains sluggish. This is a significant amount of short-term drag, especially combined with the increase in payroll taxes, part of the fiscal agreement. Brad Plummer at the WAPO describes how the sequester cuts would work. The sequester recall will cut $85.3 billion from the federal budget in 2013 and affect everything except Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, a few targeted anti-poverty programs, and the ongoing wars. The Pentagon budget would face an immediate 7.3% cut in domestic discreditory programs that would be cut by more than 5%. The key feature of the cuts is that they would affect all agencies and programs equally. Here is the White House fact sheets on some of the cuts, and they give you a link. It's obviously bad policy. First, the U.S. doesn't need immediate spending cuts. If anything, with a 7.9% unemployment rate, we need additional short-term spending. And second, we don't need indiscriminate cuts. No one supports these specific cuts, but they might happen anyways. This article here will lead me to another article. It's about manufacturing, especially discrete manufacturing, known that automation raises labor productivity by reducing the number of employees needed to produce the same or greater amount of product. We have also begun to see automated workflows and business processes, collaborative management tools, and other software applications that are eliminating middle management and other professional jobs. Even knowledge workers are not immune to this relentless march of automation. Ford believes that automation will replace jobs at such a great rate that service jobs cannot grow enough to absorb the people. He then proposes an answer to what will happen to a society that has 75% unemployment. That's right, he forecasts a 75% unemployment caused by automation. He shows great concern about coming unemployment of middle management. I think those jobs have been disappearing for 25 years. I once led 3 teams at a company that designed and built automated assembly machinery, sales and marketing, project management, and application engineering. One of the project managers had been reading too much in the Wall Street Journal about companies cutting middle management. I told him that I was closer to middle management than he. His job was more tangible. I just supervised the crew and reported to the president. It talks about jobs that are absorbed, agricultural workers, when that industry becomes automated. We just don't know where the next job creation engine will appear. Even those manufacturing jobs that remain are becoming lower wage jobs. Jobs that used to pay $20 an hour and higher have become $10 an hour and $12 an hour jobs. Wages have been driven down. Workers have either upgraded skills or entered other professionals. Think healthcare for one, or enter the craft economy to supplement wages. Get a second or third job. Paper shuffling jobs with high stress probability deserves to be automated in order to free people to become more productive. But this article here is dated the 18th of January. Every product and service produced by the economy ultimately gets purchased, consumed by someone. In economic terms, demand means a desire or need for something backed by the ability and the willingness to pay for it. There are only two entities that create final demand for products and services: individual people and governments. And as we know, that government can't be the demand solution in the long run. Individual consumer spending is typically around 70% of the GDP in the United States. Of course, businesses also purchase things, but it's not a final demand. Business buy input that are used to produce something else. If there is no demand for what the business is producing, it will shut down and stop buying inputs. A business may sell to another business, but somewhere down the line, that chain has to end at a person or a government buying something just because they want it or need it. The point here is that a worker is also a consumer and may support other consumers. These people drive final demand. When a worker is replaced by a machine, that machine does not go out and consume. The machinery may use energy, resources, and spare parts, but again, those are business inputs, not final demand. If there is no one to buy what the machine is producing, it will get shut down. Think of our industrial robots being used by an auto manufacturer. The robot will not continue running if no one buys a car. So if we automate all the jobs or most of the jobs, or if we drive wages so low that very few people have any discretionary income, then it is difficult to see how a modern mass market economy can continue to thrive. There is plenty of evidence that consumers are already struggling with the structure shift occurring in the economy. It goes on to say that a just released report shows that an ever-increasing number of Americans are raiding their retirement accounts just to pay current bills. And then I reported about this trader who made a $11.25 million bet that something very bad within the next 60 days is going to happen. They have a slideshow here on Business Insider about the future of the workplace. It's about approaching the death of the office as we know it. It talks about how in a knowledge economy, information is currency. Boy, if that wasn't true, you can't consume goods with just knowledge. Knowledge is power, yeah, but the question is, how do you use it to build an income? Talks about education. Distance means less, so competition for higher skilled workers will get fiercer. About the global war for talent. People need the right skills and knowledge to survive. But how do you know what the future is going to demand? Low-skilled labor will be replaced by a robot economy. A snapshot of industrial robot growth. All sorts of low-skilled labor, including office support jobs, will be replaced. And how do you go back to school when you have a family to support? Where do you get the money? Where do you get the time? And right here it says the darkest predictions estimate 75% unemployment because there won't be enough high-skilled jobs that require humans. You're going to all be taking low-paying jobs. Like myself, I support myself. $500 a month rent, $200 power bill on a job that pays just $7.25 an hour. My last paycheck was $20 because hours at work have been cut. So I'm definitely not going out and consuming, am I, when my paycheck for 2 weeks was $20. They tell you, be close by the phone, we might call you, we might need you, so stay by your phone. They don't pay me to stay by the phone. And who's going to pay for that phone? To keep it on so I can stay by the phone hoping I get more hours. Aside from robots, where are all the jobs going? Companies will rely on outsourced labor for high and low skilled jobs. Freelancers among the fastest growing segment of the economy. I guess you can say I'm a freelancer. I don't get paid for what I do. My news that I gather information is all free. Yeah, I ask for donations, but I don't see any coming in, so I do it because I enjoy what I'm doing, because I'm sitting by the phone waiting for my boss to call me, hoping I'll go to work. Since the recession, part-time work has become an economic reality for many. This means our workforce will become much more fragmented. The office won't be a fixed location. My next door neighbor, she works from her home on her home computer for some insurance company. Mobile is a huge part of this shift. Look at how the mobile has taken over the world. Smartphones and tablets are dominating, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Tools like Evernote, Dropbox, and other data and file sharing platforms are making our lives easier. All this technology enables us to work with anyone, anytime, and anywhere. Most only need a small device to do work. Together, the devices fill the gap between work and home. With such convenience, more people are working around the clock. You're sitting at home by the phone, by your computer, 24/7. But is that a good thing? How are these changes affecting workers? Some are more stressed out than anything else. Others, especially millennials, are willing to work 24/7 in exchange for certain demands. Freedom, anonymity, and flexibility define the future of the workplace. All employers will have to listen. Generation Y, roughly defined those born between 1983 and 2000, will make up 40% of the workforce by 2020. To many of these workers, workplace culture is as important as salary. Companies like Facebook, Google, and others knew this years ago. They have amazing cultures and amenities to attract top talent. Health benefits and perks are part of the culture, like this gym. Here's an image of one of the creative uses of workspace. How many people do they have working there? I see one. And then it says we've entered a new economy and we're not turning back. I don't like the way the world's going. It's going to be a world of the haves and the have-nots. So we're back to this. People making $11 million bets on crashes. And like I said, the military war machine that actually runs everything is not going to put up with spending cuts. The future of the world does not look good. Alright, bookmark my site. I'll keep you up to date. Please stay safe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you all. Bye.